Hi there, it's Richard here. Veritas recently released some inlay tools, and as I do a fair amount of inlay in my furniture, I had a look at them. They came out with some standalone tools along the lines of the Lee-Nielsen ones available from Steve Latta. But what really interested me was they came out with a contraption, a set of blades and some shims that enable the large router plane to be used as a groove cutter, as an inlay tool. And I'm not a big tool collector, but I do like it when companies allow you to expand the use of their existing products, and that's essentially what Veritas have done. So I'm going to make a short video. I only got the inlay tools yesterday, so I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm going to make a short video showing how to set it up, and I'm going to cut a little inlay groove here for some banding. I made a couple of test cuts yesterday, and it was very straightforward, very simple, and very, very effective. So what do you get? You get this contraption here, which takes the blades. You get two blades. They're very sharp. They essentially have bevels on the inside, and they can be reversed, so you get double the cutting edge. And what you would do for the smallest possible width of groove, you would put them in like this and screw them in like so until they're held nice and tight. Now that's the minimum possible groove. That's about 1 millimeter. What you also get is a range of shims. There must be about 30 of them, all different sizes, and up to about 3 millimeters, 2 millimeters, and 1 millimeter. And then I should say what I did was I photocopied the chart of the shim widths, and it gives you so if you want 7 millimeters, you take a 3 millimeter, a 2 millimeter, 1 black and 3 purple, plus of course the width of the blades, which comes to 1 millimeter. That would total 7. So I tape that onto the back of this block, which holds all my routed plane blades. So I want to make a groove to hold this inlay, which is roughly 8.4 millimeters. Roughly 8.4 millimeters. So I go down to my chart and I look at 8 millimeters here. I want the 3, the 2, the 1. That's the 3, the 3, the 2, the 1. A black and 3 purple. A black and 3 purple. Now I actually already set this up, and I was a little bit short, so I'm going to add another blue shim. A blue shim is 0.25 of a millimeter, quarter of a millimeter. So I'm going to add these here. Now this is a bit fiddly, and I haven't actually cut myself yet, but it looks like the sort of fiddly assembly where you're almost certain to cut yourself. So you sort of slide these on, making sure a blade goes first and last, like so. Hold that in place. Bevels on the inside, and then you want to just sort of put that over the hole, oops, and screw it into place. I like to get it in just to hold, and then I take the second one. That gives me a little more stability. So a little bit fiddly, but you know, you get used to it. It's not the end of the world. Okay. So you want to give that a quick check to see you're roughly where you want to be, which I am. Then what you do, carefully put this in here, like so. Now you want to make sure that the blades are not protruding from the base of the router, because you're still doing your setup. Okay, let's put that to one side for 1 second. I want my inlay to be roughly 1 inch from the edge of the board. And make sure you mark this with a pencil, not with a knife or a marking gauge. The reason is, if you have a line, a scored line, that's going to make it much more difficult for these grooves. They're essentially going to be competing with a pre-existing line. So move this into place where you want it, lock down your fence. Now, you want to, if possible, score this in one go. The instructions go into detail. If you want a really deep groove, you need to essentially cut a shallower small groove, then increase the shim width and to your final dimension and cut a deeper groove. But because my banding is very small, I can make this in one go. So I'm sighting down and I'm extending the blades to about there. That's fine. I'm going to make this in one pass. Pressure here at the front until the whole fence registers, and just make that cut straight across. Don't be tempted to go back in and readjust. Now, move the depth stop into place. Should have done that first, but it doesn't really matter. Take out this blade assembly carefully. You want to find the router plane blade that corresponds most closely to the groove you just cut. The widest one. So this one would be too wide, so I'll go with the 1/4 inch. Slot that in. Tighten it down. Okay. Now, this contraption is left of center. So if you leave your fence in the same place, your groove is going to be too far over. So you need to readjust. What I like to do is get that nicely in the middle of the groove, like so. So I've got distance on either side of my cutter. The depth remains the same, and again, just going to take pass. If this is too much, you know, if you're getting tear out, then take a couple of shallow passes. I got some tear out here and here. That's okay. Now I want to move my cutter, my fence, to the extremes of the cut. So I'm going to be these are my clean-up passes now, essentially. Okay. Just going to take away that waste. And then move the fence over to take the far side cut. Should have a nice clean edge. Now, I'm going to check that, and I'm not deep enough, but the width is good, and that's fine. So just going to lower that a little bit. A bit more. And then move the fence back over to the far left. Let's see how we're doing. That's perfect. I like to leave my inlay a little bit proud, so that I can plane it flush. I'll use a scraper, plane it flush. But that's the tool. So as you can see, really straightforward to use, very effective. There's one little thing, you can reverse, just carefully remove this, you can reverse this fence and use it to follow a curved edge. You know, that brass stylus comes as part of the inlay kit and you'll follow the edge. So I hope you enjoyed this little video and found it useful. And if you do some inlay work, I think this is a great tool, very effective. Thanks for watching.